Hey Gearpacks friends, I'm back on the Yamaha DSR500 as promised, and we're going to make some crazy sounds with it and also run an arpeggiator through using Midi. This arpeggio comes from a much later Yamaha keyboard and it sounds like this. I know that sounds really weird, but the reason I've chosen that one is because it's got low notes, it's got high notes, and it also exercises pitch bend in there as well. So let's let that arpeggiator run while we adjust the voice parameters. Okay, I know that's a really weird arpeggiator, but like I said, I ran that one through to make a point, and I think we came out with some pretty weird oscillations and some interesting sounds there. Let's try a more simple arpeggio, one that I put together. Well, that's a nice sound, but there's only one way to go with digital FM synthesis, and that is to make things as nasty as possible. Parameter 0, the spectrum. Well, if anything, I'm making it a bit nicer there. I'm just going to go to parameter 7 and drop our octave down a little bit. Back to parameter number 1, brilliance. Number 2 is our first envelope, the modulation envelope. That's getting more interesting. Envelope 3. Yep. Generally I skip the volume parameter, number 4, and see what effect vibrato has. With some patches vibrato comes through really strong. With some it has virtually no effect at all, and with some it introduces new and different effects. So there we see an example of a sound reacting in very strange ways to each of the parameters, particularly vibrato. It seems to just be introducing some kind of distortion. But I guess you can put that down to the particular waveform that you're selecting out of the 80 to choose from. Here's a nice fat sound that hasn't been edited yet. So it's preset number 15, and when bank B is on, that's our flip side, the edited version of it. And once again, we'll start at parameter 0. Nice bit of FM steel there. Parameter 1, brilliance. Start low, which is always quite soft and subtle. Let's see what the maximum sounds like. Bit of a difference. Now if we take envelope number 1, which is parameter number 2, very slow, we should get something quite dramatic here. Excellent, very reminiscent of the old Yamaha PSS series. Sometimes with synthesis, it's a good idea to know exactly when to stop. I like that sound exactly as it is, so I'm going to move on to something else. And when I switch back to normal preset tones, that'll be automatically saved. How's that for a horrible trumpet sound? We've got to do something about that. All right, bit of extra harshness. That's actually a fairly interesting tone. Let's go straight to vibrato, parameter 5, and increase it. That's good because it starts off quite flat and the vibrato comes in slowly. So we've got a much more usable tone there. Still, we really should try the envelope settings, which are 2 and 3. Let's slow the attack right down. Okay, so we've seen a few things that the DSR500 can do. Running arpeggios through it certainly makes a big difference. And one thing I'll say is that I do find with these older keyboards that running MIDI into them is really simple. It always just works first go. You just mute the tracks that you don't want to play and you get the exact melody that you need. It's very simple, straightforward and bug-free. I'm still kind of marveling at this pitch bend system here where you slide your finger uncomfortably along a bit of a continuum here. I have no idea why they decided to design it that way, but I do have an idea of why it didn't catch on. But anyway, it certainly is a keyboard worth trying out. It can do some really fun FM stuff. I'd forgotten how fun FM synthesis is, actually. We do, of course, now have the Korg Volca FM synthesizer, and my next video will be a comparison between what the DSR500 can do and what the much newer Korg Volca can do. So get your subscription into GearFacts to see that one. Also, click on like for the video if you could, please, and leave me a comment, because I do like to respond to all of the comments that come my way. And thanks again for watching GearFacts. See you on the next one.